He humiliated me daily and copied everything. I handed him the pen that erased his future. Vance was the untouchable heir to a restaurant empire. He turned me into his personal hardware store. Got a spare thermometer? He'd demand, pocketing my expensive digital probes. When I switched to cheap plastic ones, he actually complained. These are garbage. They melt, he scoffed, stealing them anyway. But he didn't just want my tools. He wanted my intellectual property. During every written theory quiz, he'd lean over my stainless steel counter, copying my ingredient ratios with absolute impunity. The worst part? Chef Armand loved him. When Vance's copied scores matched mine, Armand praised his refined instincts, and I bit my cheek so hard I tasted copper. Stealing wasn't enough. Vance told the entire brigade I belonged in a fast food drive-thru. He nicknamed me Grease Trap. By November, he spread a rumor that I was begging to be his sous chef. Random freshmen would aggressively rattle spare change at me in the hallways, laughing. I kept my head down, obsessively counting the days until the final certification exam. I'll never forget the morning in the walk-in fridge. "Hey, Grease Trap," Vance sneered. "Are you taking notes or just pretending you can read?" His buddy laughed. "She's just absorbing the smell of failure." Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred. I stood frozen holding a crate of truffles while Vance smirked like a conqueror. That's when the real bombshell dropped. Chef Armand announced the seating for the 3-hour final formulation exam. "Vance, move your drafting stool next to hers. She has acceptable focus, and it might inspire your plating," he barked. He officially sanctioned the plagiarism. Vance's smug grin told me he knew exactly what he'd just been gifted. The night before the final, I stared at my sewing kit. I pulled out a fabric marking pen. Heat friction ink. The barrel looked exactly like a standard fine point drafting pen, but the ink permanently vanished the second it hit 140 degrees Fahrenheit. I knew for a fact Chef Armand stacked the completed written exams on the expo line, directly under the blazing industrial heat lamps, before grading them. Something dark and cold clicked in my brain. This wasn't a sewing tool anymore. This was justice. I spent 20 minutes dissolving the brand logo with pure acetone. I tested it with a blow dryer. The black ink evaporated into thin air. The next morning, I tucked the weaponized pen into my apron. At 8:15 a.m., Vance slouched onto the stool beside me. "Need a pen?" he demanded. Mine died. I handed it over with my perfectly rehearsed look of defeat. "Don't choke," he hissed, pocketing it like a tax. During the exam, I angled my master recipe sheet perfectly. For the first time all year, I didn't shield my work. My heart violently hammered against my ribs. I wrote my ratios methodically, practically begging him to transcribe every single ounce and temperature. Vance took the bait flawlessly. His pen moved in perfect synchronization with mine for 3 grueling hours. I pretended not to notice. When time was called, he looked victorious. He tossed his exam onto the steel expo pass, completely unaware his stolen masterpiece was sitting under a 180-degree halogen heat lamp. I watched him walk away with a satisfied smirk, biting my lip to keep from laughing out loud. The grades posted in December. The universe collected its debt. I passed with top honors. Vance failed with a completely blank paper. His billionaire father spent hours screaming in the administration office about sabotage and missing test booklets. Vance swore he wrote a 10-page masterpiece. He never suspected the heat lamp or the kitchen rat.